Millions of Canadian seniors are waking up to shocking news. New 2025 rules could slash their OAS and GIS payments overnight. What was promised as an update is turning into a nightmare. If you or your parents rely on these benefits, you need to hear this before it's too late. Welcome to Canada Insight Now, your daily source for pension and immigration updates. From CPP and OAS to PR and visa news, we bring you the latest facts that shape your future in Canada. The Old Age Security, OAS, and Guaranteed Income Supplement, GIS programs have long been the backbone of Canada's retirement safety net. For decades, these benefits helped ensure that no senior would be left behind, providing a steady income to cover basic needs like housing, food, and medication. But now, under the new 2025 federal budget adjustments, the system itself is being rewritten, and it's not looking good for the country's most vulnerable citizens. According to recent government releases, the new legislation aims to modernize eligibility and payment structures. For OAS and GIS, that may sound harmless, even helpful, but the fine print tells a very different story. Analysts say that what is being described as modernization is actually a reshuffling of income thresholds and clawback rules, meaning that many seniors could see their monthly payments drop or even lose eligibility altogether. In simpler terms, Ottawa wants to link more OAS and GIS payments to real-time income data, supposedly to make the system more responsive. But experts say this change could punish seniors who receive even small increases in income, such as part-time work, small pension top-ups, or investment returns, by triggering faster benefit reductions. For example, under the current system, GIS eligibility is determined annually based on previous year income, giving seniors some predictability. But under the 2025 changes, the government will assess income on a rolling basis using CRA updates, meaning a one-time payment or temporary income boost could immediately reduce or pause benefits. It's a subtle change with massive real-world consequences. One financial planner described it bluntly: if you re a senior who picks up a few shifts or sells something small for extra cash, you could see your GIS drop the very next month. It's like the system will punish you for trying to stay afloat, and that's not the only concern. There's also a proposal to adjust age-related credit thresholds, bureaucratic language for tightening the criteria that determine who qualifies for full OAS at age 65. Insiders say the government may gradually raise the effective age for maximum benefit entitlement by linking it to life expectancy projections. While that might make sense on paper, in reality, it means many Canadians will wait longer to receive their full benefits, or may never qualify at all if their income fluctuates near the cutoff lines. This has left many seniors anxious and confused. In provinces like Ontario and British Columbia, retirement advocacy groups are already flooded with calls. One retiree said, "We worked our whole lives expecting these benefits to be stable. Now they're changing the rules when we're too old to adapt." Even more frustrating for many is the lack of clear communication. The government has promised that no senior will lose benefits unfairly, but when pressed for details, officials admit that some adjustments will be necessary to balance sustainability and fairness. Critics call that phrase a red flag, political code for budget cuts. The timing of the reform adds to the anger. Inflation continues to squeeze seniors' fixed incomes. Food and rent costs have hit record highs, and many Canadians over 65 are already struggling to make ends meet. Cutting or delaying benefits now feels like adding insult to injury. Economists say the move is driven partly by financial pressure. Canada's aging population is growing faster than ever before, and OAS payments now consume over $70 billion annually, a number expected to double within 2 decades. Instead of raising taxes or finding new revenue streams, Ottawa seems to be quietly trimming the system from the inside. But that approach may backfire politically. Seniors are one of the most active voting blocs in the country, and the backlash could be fierce. Already, Opposition leaders are calling for emergency hearings and accusing the government of breaking its promise to protect retirees. One MP called the 2025 changes a betrayal of trust, saying that the very people who built this country are now being asked to pay the price for government mismanagement. Meanwhile, financial experts warn that the ripple effects could extend far beyond the senior population. Families who support elderly parents may face increased financial burdens. Social services could see a surge in demand as more low-income seniors turn to food banks and housing assistance. And small towns, where retirees make up a large share of the economy, could be hit hardest. One troubling detail buried deep in the reform package involves the GIS Supplemental Review Clause. This new measure will allow the government to reassess GIS recipients every 3 months instead of once per year. That means seniors could face frequent payment fluctuations and bureaucratic delays, exactly the kind of instability the system was designed to prevent. A retired teacher from Alberta summed it up perfectly. You can budget your life when your income changes every few months. It's stressful enough being on a fixed income. Now they're making it unpredictable too. The government defends the plan, saying it's about ensuring fairness and preventing overpayments. They argue that some seniors receive benefits they technically no longer qualify for, and this reform will close those gaps. But critics say this is a distraction. The real motive is to save billions over the next decade by quietly tightening access. Media reaction has been intense. Headlines across the country are calling this the OAS shakeup and the GIS crisis of 2025. Editorials question why the government is targeting seniors while continuing to spend heavily on other programs. Talk shows and financial analysts warn that the policy could deepen inequality among older Canadians, rewarding those with stable pensions while punishing lower-income retirees. And on social media, outrage is spreading fast. Seniors groups and influencers are posting viral clips explaining how the new clawback system works. One video, viewed over 1 million times, shows a retiree calculating how a $200 side income could cut her monthly GIS by nearly $100. They call it modernization, she says, but it feels more like manipulation. Behind closed doors, even some government advisors are uneasy. Sources close to the finance ministry admit there were internal warnings that the policy could create confusion and backlash, but the reforms were pushed through to meet budget targets. In other words, politics won over practicality. The question now is whether Ottawa will blink under pressure. Petitions demanding a delay in the new rules have already gathered tens of thousands of signatures. Advocacy organizations are preparing legal challenges, arguing that sudden benefit cuts violate the principles of fairness and predictability, enshrined in Canada's social policy framework. But unless the government changes course soon, the new OAS and GIS rules will officially take effect in mid-2025, and for many seniors, that means tough months ahead. Financial planners are urging retirees to double-check their income sources, monitor CRA updates closely, and prepare for possible reductions. It's grim advice, but necessary in uncertain times. As one expert put it, this isn't just a policy shift, it's a warning shot. The era of guaranteed stability in senior benefits might be coming to an end. For now, Canadians over 65 are left in limbo, waiting for clarity, fearing the worst, and wondering how a promise of security turned into a threat. The government may call it reform, but for the millions who depend on OAS and GIS to survive, it feels like betrayal. You've been watching Canada Insight Now, Canada's trusted voice for pension and immigration news. Subscribe now and stay informed, because your Canadian journey starts here.